Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of LanceScurv. I wanted to share a thought while it was still in my head. I didn't want to forget it. As you well know, there's a lot of things that shoot through my head, and I just had to grab onto this one and share it. I just want to say, excuse me for my congestion. I have a little cold going on, but it's not going to stop me from bringing the message. You know, we're living in a world of distraction. There's so many things that are vying for our attention, and it takes us off of the things that we need to know. Now, as far as the things that we need to know, I'm not going to give you a list. This is just an abstract, overall, gaseous thought that doesn't have a hard center. It's just open-minded this way. Just be careful what you put in your brain. Be careful what you put in your mind. There are a lot of things that are thrown out here like smoke screens that we latch onto that keep us from understanding what's really going on. When you look at the news, when you look at news platforms, realize and understand that it's a business. Realize and understand that it's a thing for profit and a thing that is steered and engineered by entities who have an agenda. So whenever you see something on the news and it seems to be a little off, well, in actuality, you need to check everything and where it's coming from. Consider the source, because lots of times they will speak in a certain way on a certain topic and want to steer you in the way of what they think is logic and their way of thinking. And so lots of times we'll go and echo their thoughts and their sentiments because we just absorb what they said and we run with it like a little child who may have an ignorant parent. Hey, I hate to say ignorant and parent in the same sentence, and it shouldn't really be, but that's the reality of the situation, that there are some ignorant parents. That doesn't mean they're stupid. It just means that they might be ignorant to certain things, and a child will hear this at home and want to replicate it in their conversation as though it's gospel. And we as adults, we do the same thing too. Many who call themselves religious people do the same thing. And especially I'm not going to pick on Christians, but I'm not going to name every single religion in the world, but I'm saying it's religious people. But when I see Christians out here echoing what their pastors say with things that are biblically wrong or just things in the world that they should be thinking about, but they keep a cult-like mentality and they keep them mentally inbred where they're not open to seeing what's really out there in the world. You've been given a brain by your creator. Some say God, some say Most High, some say universe, whatever you call it, that's what it is. But you've been given a brain. Use your brain to think. You know, we have a thing called artificial intelligence coming out now, and it's helping us to not think. We can put an article, types out the article for us. They're doing artwork now. They're taking music and taking other artists and rapping over the songs, artificial intelligence music. Our brains are going to shrink from lack of use the same way our bodies are changing and morphing because we're sitting down in front of a computer more. We're not walking and exercising as much. And so we're slowly being taken off and distracted. And we're allowing this to happen instead of being proactive in our life to see things as they are and stay with the original way that our bodies, minds, and spirits were designed to operate. Mr. Scurv, you can add your 2 cents in on that. I like to hear what you have to say. Because, you know, I can just talk and talk and talk and talk.
Oh, yeah.
We are the original intelligence, not artificial, right? But we should outdo those things if we keep ourselves tip-top fit on all levels.
Because that's what they want to do, they take over with all this technology and then push us over because we are not paying attention to nothing that's going on anyway. And that's what we are. That's why we as a people, we need to get ourselves together and teach our children them the right way to go about things and how to use our brain. Because if we don't really use our brain and work it every day, get up and do things together, that's what's going to happen. Because all we sitting around, sit on the computer, the phone. The phone is what take over a lot of our people, even the adult. We're not even going to say the children, because you know what? A lot of the children them that in our home, who buy the phone, give them, who paying the phone bill? You as the parents, right? You are the parents that paying the phone bill for them, and the children are into the phone. They are not learning anything else more than what they see on the computer and searching all these stuff. But you know, we as a parents, we have a job to do to teach our kids them different things from the computer. Because look, when these things are taken away from us, what are we going to do? You know, because it's going to come a time when there's no YouTube, none of these things. So what are we going to do? We are going to just sit around looking at each other, everybody looking stupid. We need to get ourselves together, find our place, and do what we need to do. We have to come together as a people. As Brother Lad said, he's not going to say anymore, wake up. And it's true, because it doesn't make any sense to do all of that. Because it is sad what is happening right now in the world. It is really sad, you know, with our people, all the different things that I see happening, you know, the stuff that I'm getting, you know, things are happening to people, how much people, even on Easter, how many people got killed in Orlando. It is so sad what is happening. You know, little children that's getting killed, adult, and why are these things happening? You know, and what they say about the gun law, you know, Orlando in Florida,
open carry.
Yeah, that is something. Do people, you know, people are really thinking about that, or they don't care about it?
Well, look at it now with all of these strange drugs out there, and the attitudes and the frustration. And let's just zero in, micromanage one situation here, zero in on it. Say you have a young man who's out there who he's making money, taking care of himself. He has a job, but now they're cutting hours as they're doing in many of these jobs. So that bit of hours that they're cutting, it's hurting him, right? He has a weapon, you know, he's carrying it. People can see it. The next person sees it. He bumps into somebody. He's with his girlfriend, fiance, whatever. They go into the movie. Maybe in a big mall, there's a movie that he bumps into this guy. And they look at each other. He's frustrated from getting his hours cut. He feels less to the man because he's making less money. Maybe him and the girlfriend have some differences, and he doesn't want to be shown up in front of her and the crowd that's there. The guy looks at him and says something. They both pull out their weapons. What's going to happen? You see, we're living in balance right now. I'm not saying everybody, but we're lacking that full understanding of spirituality, which is a broad term, and people use that word foolishly, and they lack it sometimes. They say the word, they say the words, but they don't internalize it. You see, give me somebody who might be functionally illiterate, who may not be able to read as well, but he's internalized the laws and executes them in his life, as opposed to somebody who can read it off just as fluent, and you think they know it, but they haven't internalized it yet. You see, in this world, we work so hard to look like the real thing instead of to be the real thing. And we're so concerned about what other people think instead of doing what we need to do when nobody's watching us and looking at us the right way and the right thing. Because if I have to feel insecure about something, that's actually a call to action for me to do something to improve myself, to fill that void. So all you see coming from me is confidence, because I know everything is taken care of. When you tune up your vehicle, you sit up a little higher in your car, even more proud because it's running so nice because you tuned it up. So many of us don't tune ourselves up. So many of us have attributes that need to be built up, or certain areas where there need to be certain attributes and they're not there, but we put on the covering and worry about the covering instead of going down to the nitty gritty. And again, back to the original. We need to be aware without being clogged from the inside in our sight. Not just the physical sight, but the spiritual sight. And not just words and hocus pocus, but the actual practice of. Now, I'm not saying I'm some great spiritual man, because I've wallowed in the mud of decadence in my life lots of times. But I've learned from that. And there's no way that I would make it to this age, I'm not going to say unscathed, but pretty much intact, to avoid certain situations that my discernment shows me and lets me know exactly what it is, and I leave it alone. Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, two of the most defensive boxing masters, defensive masters in the sport, and I can name off other boxers. You might not agree with me, you might disagree with me, but It's not how much you hit and punch, it's how much you don't get hit, how much you avoid, how much drama you avoid, how much frustration that's unnecessary you avoid, and heartache. Those things weigh you down. Those things age your face. Those things make your body go up and down and out of control, because when one part of you unravels, the other part unravels also, because we're made to be in balance. And as far as the children, yes, when a child is, I forgot the actual age, I know somebody's going to help me in the chat room, not the chat room, but basically the comment section. There's a certain age range in the single digit ages when children absorb the most that they absorb from the environment that they're in. And it doesn't mean you have to tell it to them. They're absorbing it by seeing it and feeling it. And so when they get 13, 14, 15, 16, it's a wrap because the foundation has been set.
What they say at 7? By the age of 7?
Yeah, by the age of 7, it fluctuates, but it starts from earlier. And you see, look, the way my father used to walk, he'd walk, of course, like I said, the martial arts, powerlifting, boxing, bodybuilding when he was younger. He had a walk. He was just strong anyway, even though he was an older man as I was coming up. So that was around me. So a man had to walk a certain way by what I saw. Because,
can I cut in and say something like, as you say about a man, if you notice like the older men, like our parents and, you know,
they were men.
Some of them that's younger than them, they walk with authority, you know, the way they carry themselves, their clothes, the way they dress, they never wear their clothes loose and let go and not belting their pants and hanging off of them.
Unacceptable.
And now what I'm seeing is very disturbing and I don't like it because even here in Ghana, and I see all these guys holding up their pants, running around, holding up their pants, one hand holding it. And for me, I maybe people will disagree with me, but for me, it's like every country follows United States of America.
You're absolutely right.
I'm telling you, anywhere you go in the world, you go to Jamaica or any one of the Caribbean islands, or you come here on the continent, and all these guys, some of them are older guys too, and their pants dropping down at the behind. And a lot of them, even in the US, their underwears are so dirty. Nasty, dirty underwear, and you're showing it and you're running. If you try to run from the cops, you're going to bust your damn mouth because the pants down at the foot, down at the leg here is tight and up here, and the pants up here is so bigger and it falling off of you. And some of the children and that wearing the clothes is the parents that go out there and buy, because a lot of these children are living at home. And then when they go out there, it's worse. And you have some of the girls and that doing it also. And it's shocking to me, like coming here to Ghana and seeing all these guys running around with their pants like that and a little tight it's down
those videos
here.
They're watching.
You know, you're watching everything that America, the rappers are doing it. And what I'm saying, what I'm saying to our people, them, we have these rappers, whatever they call themselves, them black or them African, but most of them people have just called them black people, okay? Because their behavior is too black for me. You see what I'm saying? I know who I am, but a lot of our people don't know who they are. And I call them black people because you have these rappers, they're rapping bullshit stuff, and they're on stage with their pants falling off, holding up their pants, you know, singing and the pants falling off, and they're holding up their crotch and they're all. Listen to me, man. There's something they need for going at the garbage can where them are do. These people, these rappers and the nastiness, what they're singing and stuff like that. The other day I was coming home and I was on the van coming down, and it stopped in a little town because they have these little towns and stuff, different names. I don't know some of the name. I think there is I'm not sure. It's not. I'm not going to call it because I don't know all of the towns and name. I know some of them. So
many of them.
Yeah, it's so many little towns. You go through these towns and it's different way. It come back to me because it's so much different ones. But there was the music on and it was a Jamaican artist. I don't know who he is because I don't listen to those kind of stuff. And we're rapping and talking about pussy, dick, and all kind of stuff on the
What the hell?
Yes, and because you know what they were saying on there, and I'm saying, right. You know, some of these people, I'm trying to wrap this around and say if a lot of these people really hear the words of these
it's sickening.
Music.
It's sickening.
No, a lot of people and a lot of our people, it makes me sick till I want to vomit, because you have these girls and these boys, they're listening to these music and they're winding up their ass. You want to tell me that you don't hear the dirtiness talking about under girl, under this? Look here, these boys that is singing this, so I'm gonna call them boys, because a lot of these we call themselves man, them a little boy in a big man pants. If you cannot go down and talk about under woman and saying all these things and you're rapping, you're making money doing this shit, and you have a mother, come on now. Them are black people. I don't want to hear nothing from you because you don't like to talk a lot of garbage. And it's happening all over the world. It's happening here in Africa because everybody pick up everything that they hear and see. What happened in America? If you hear somebody in America a rap about woman and them and the dirtiness, and Africa is gonna pick it up. The Caribbean is gonna pick it up. Everybody pick it up. They're listening to everything and they bring it. You know, they bring it here, and the children, they're listening to it, and these little girls and these little boys are winding up. If you notice, look at some of these videos, even out of Africa, with these little babies winding up themselves, listening to these music and stuff like that. If it's something decent and whatever, it's a different thing. But when you hear those kind of things, it makes me sick. And just sitting on that van, and I just want them to drive off and go, because I said this music is disturbing, very disturbing. Especially when you know what it does. Yes.
When you get wise enough to know what it does. It's like I was over by the mall there, and I picked up some of the vegan stuff that we eat. And I said, let me eat one of these before I go on in. Because I was in front of the computer all day. You had already came home. And I said, let me sit there and get some air before, because I spent a lot of time, and I know I was going to be up all night in front of the computer. So they had some music playing. They didn't realize what was playing. I didn't know what the words of the song were, because they were speaking English, and this was an African, maybe a Ghanaian group or Nigerian. I don't know which is either one of those, I really believe, right?
But they were speaking in their language, right?
Well, no, they were speaking English, but they were speaking a broken English.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't. It was an African dialect, and they were speaking it deep, and they mixed in some other, probably Tree. You know, the native language of Ghana. And the words that I heard them rhyming, trigger and nigger. The trigger, the nigger. And when I'm saying those were other words. The trigger, the nigger. How did nigger get back to Africa? How did that word and get accepted? Like the one on the Trocho that was the mate that collects the money for the van, he called me a nigga bitch. Hey, what's up, my nigga bitch? And so many people on the Trocho felt that was funny, which means they knew what it meant.
Yeah.
So I said, I see all of these people here, because I got into him a little bit. And when they, I said, I see a lot of you punks in here wearing crosses around your neck, a symbol of death. I said, you hear something like that on a person who has a lineage from this country, and you laugh at something that was manufactured in another country that was demeaning toward me, and you should take it that way, but you're laughing. Now he calls me a nigga bitch, and you're laughing. But as that punk pastor takes money from you and tells you a lie about some white man coming over here, I can call you all a nigga bitch. Because that fake Jesus that you worshiping ain't coming back to save none of y'all. But you're on your knees every week, and I said something that I shouldn't say. And I wasn't saying that they were praying to him. Now, you cannot say that. But see, it's selective and depending on what it is. And then I got into the guy, and I ripped him a new anus with my words alone. And when I got off the van, I got right up in his face. I said, if I'm a nigga bitch, you smack one. You know what I mean? Like, how are you so comfortable to speak in this manner? And like we said, the young kids are absorbing this stuff. And the mothers are so worried about talking on the phone and all this. They talk a decent way when they're around elders. They talk a decent way when they need to get something out of somebody, but they're the same hoochies except they're grown up now. Because they missed out, they feel, on their teen years because they were doing the wrong thing, where if they were doing the right thing, every stage of life brings happiness. If you do what's right in that particular stage of your life, you will be happy. Yeah, you'll have down days. Yes, you'll have frustrations. But pretty much, do you think I'm sad because I'm 60? You know how much memory and data I have in my mind that I can draw from for wisdom and entertain myself? I'm not scared of a crowd. I'm not scared to speak. I'm not scared to express myself. I love that about me. And I think every previous phase of experience that I got, now I can turn it back over. But the foundation was put right by my parents. They came together and made me. So if they did right by me, my life will be an honor to them. Not an embarrassment where I get a phone call, now I got to go and bail out a son or a daughter. Or I got to go down to the clinic to see what STD they went and got. There's nothing nice about that. But we cover it up because of what we didn't do when we were younger. And see, the world now is coming at our children even harder now. They don't have to get inside your house. They got that phone. And the children are curious. And the things you think they don't overhear. And the ways that you act that you don't think they don't absorb. You got a hell of a time coming to realize what's going to happen. And it's out of control right now. It's like you can't get away from it. Even if you keep your child in quarantine, you can't. And you wouldn't want to do that. The best thing you can do, that whatever pressure is coming outside from the outside world, is get the minds of your children first and set the foundation, not from telling them, but from showing them. Once you pick up a rhythm, once you learn how to dance, once you learn how to ride a bike, once you learn how to play a musician, once you learn how to draw, once you learn how to write, these things never leave you because it's part of you. You pack those things in as a righteous foundation that they carry on for the rest of their lives long after you're gone, and they will represent you properly. Even when they veer off, as they will, they'll have a way of coming back home. Mrs. Scurv, I have you wrap that up.
Yes. We have to really capture the mind of our children for real, Brother Lance. And I'm telling you, and we have to do it real young. We can't let them loose in the world out here, because this world out here is it's vicious. I'm telling you, the things that is happening is serious and it's not a joke. So, just take care of yourself, brothers and sisters out there. Take care of the children, get them together, show them some love, self-love, take care of yourself. Much love, and we will see you all soon again.